What's up, beautiful people?
High five. Or is it this way? We don't know. We don't know. Because we're mum and dad and we don't get mirroring.
It took us 2 hours to get this to work.
We couldn't. 3 meetings. 3 meetings.
And it's updated. Oh, me too.
Yeah.
I need to create an account. Oh.
Yeah. Not been easy. So
No,
be very, very grateful, people.
We did it. Well, we think. Who knows? This will end up out there. I don't know.
Might not record. We don't know anything. But we do love cards.
Well, we got the cards. We have the cards and we're ready.
We have a little bit of astrology that I hinted at yesterday, but said I couldn't reveal until I was with Cindy. So, yeah, they were very excited about it and very pushy.
So pray tell.
I was talking about the energies of, actually, weirdly, it was Jupiter moving into Neptune on the 29th of December. And it just felt like a bit of a bromance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. And that's naughty because they are brothers. But that's your gods for you.
There's a lot of kinship that goes on with the gods. So.
Yeah. There really is fraternities and all that.
Ooh, bromance.
Yeah, and it's because they're both in rulership in Pisces. And actually Jupiter in Pisces is the 9 of Cups card in a lot of decks.
Oh, really?
The energy. Yeah, so there feels like there's something of a wish being granted to us at the end of the year.
Well, that's good for you.
It's good for all of us, except I feel what we're going to talk about today might put the kibosh on all of that.
On all of us, actually. All right, so I'm gonna because Russell, he knows what's going on with the planets. I just read the cards and channel, so he's gonna kind of like lead this, and then
gonna lead us down a very dark path that we'll get lost in.
So do you want to tell them like who we're sort of like representing in this reading?
Yes, so in the coming few weeks, starting on the 11th and going right up until the 3rd of March next year, so a 4-month period, Venus is in Capricorn, which is a very complicated sign for them, but she's going to do a little bit of dancing forwards and backwards 3 times with Pluto, who is Hades. And so Cindy is going to represent Pluto. Oh, I think you're that way.
Am I? I don't know.
Over there. And I'm going to be representing Venus because I'm such a big girl's blouse.
Well, it's very appropriate for you being Libra and Venus and all of that beautiful energy.
Absolutely. And I've got my Lady Underworld shirt on in the soft pink for you all today. And Cindy's dressed as a lumberjack. I'm a lumberjack and I don't care. I sleep all night and I work all day. Something like that. I remember that song.
Well, I just kind of thought it had black and red, which to me represented the underworld.
Absolutely, the volcanic, and in fact, when Pluto or Hades first comes out into the world after Venus has shot him with a love arrow, she's got Eros to shoot him, he comes out from underneath Mount Etna in Sicily. And so it is very much he comes out from underneath a volcano. He falls in love and kidnaps his niece.
I know. Welcome to the gods and the goddesses.
If you're not related, I can't marry you. I'm sorry. So right. we're gonna look first of all, and we don't know how this works. It might not. We're gonna look at the fact that on the there's 3 magical dates coming up: the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th of the 12th, 2020. So they're all 0s, 1s, and 2s. And on the 11th, I think it's the 11th. Let me just check. Yes, Venus and Pluto meet. Now, we don't know if they're Venus or Pluto or whether they're Hades and Persephone, but is this their first kiss?
On what day is that?
The 11th. And they stay together until the 15th.
Ooh, it's more than just a kiss.
Oh, I think it will be, yes. So which deck are you going to use first? You've got...
I'm going to use my Fountain Tarot.
I think I'll use the Mystical Shaman.
Okay.
And we'll just both shuffle and we'll see what we get. Slip into character.
Yeah, I'm going there. That little bitch, you hit me with the arrow.
Yeah, you're a little bit love drunk at the moment because Eros actually your needles up the bum.
True. I did get needles in the bum. Oh, whoa.
I haven't got anything yet, but you start going, I'll keep shuffling.
Yeah, he's got, okay. I'm just gonna go with Hades. I'm just hearing Hades, so I'm gonna talk as Hades here. The energy of Hades, Pluto. 9 of Wands, 7 of Swords. I think there's some sort of a struggle here. Hades doesn't necessarily want to go into this too quickly. And then we have the 8 of Coins and the Moon. It almost feels like something needs to be worked on. I'm just going to go this quickly and then I'm going to channel, like there's a message here, but look at.
Yeah.
Then we have the Hanged Man with the 2 of Cups.
Oh, that's really interesting.
And the 4 of Swords. Let's heal this, honey.
Oh my God. I wonder if they can though. Because I have to say, when I was in Lisbon in February, I kept getting this energy associated with Pluto of love. And I kept going, this doesn't make sense.
He's fighting it. He's fighting it. There's something with the full moon here, the full moon coming up. So I'm just going to say this stuff and maybe that'll mean something to you astrologically or even after the fact. But there's definitely he's putting pieces to a puzzle together. I see him putting pieces to a puzzle together, and it's almost like at first these puzzles represent the staircase that he has to walk up to find the top of a mountain that he's been trying to understand. Oh, no way, you got a spiral. Look at, he's creating the spiral here. Like, yes. Look at it, curves up the staircase, but right, so then he's pulling at his conscious thoughts. There, with the 7 of Swords, there's conscious thoughts that I feel like he's trying to pull out, and then he's building something physically with it. Oh, the Gathering, the Time Master.
The Gathering of Time, but there's something about that energy that's like you're saying, it's like they've not looked at each other for so long because there's some kind of hurt that's there. Yeah. That they're gathering, because this is always about like piling stuff all over your head. And something like you've gathered too much stuff that hurts.
Yeah. See, the Time Master is coming to me with the Moon card too, because I feel like this is almost like a download for Hades somehow. But like what you're showing with the Gatherer, like trying to remove all of that.
Yeah, like it's been a long time and time has made the wounds really heavy.
Yeah. But then looking like finally, it's almost as if when the sun starts to rise, and we're talking about Hades, the underworld, right? The darkness, the moon, the moonscape of his mind, and then that receding, and then the sun comes up and he starts to see. And what does he see? But the 2 of Cups, it was always in the darkness anyways.
Yeah, because in terms of the astrology, anything below the horizon and connected to Pluto and Hades is the notion of that which you hide from yourself, the parts of your psyche that you can't bring yourself to look at. And Venus's energy is to come down and try and bring the light back up. The other thing that's interesting, you get different aspects, square, sextile. When it's in conjunction, when they move in front of each other, quite often it brings up old loves. People, you know, can come out the woodwork.
But that's kind of what this is, isn't it? With Venus and Pluto coming together, it's coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
Again. And it's the true darkness that it's almost as if it being in the underworld, it just feels like a place where love would be difficult to experience.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because there are areas in the underworld like the Elysian Fields, and they're meant to be really beautiful places. So I think there's space for beauty, but I think that it's something we're hiding from, and Hades means invisible. It means the things we don't want to look at.
Yeah.
But there's definitely something, and also your sun and your moon has that sense of the solstices, summer and winter solstice, the points at which Persephone goes into the underworld, the points at which she returns as spring.
Yeah. But so when he hits the Two of Cups and it's the Four of Swords.
Yeah, it's a healing, love healing.
It is a love healing, but it's curious because there's one sword that sits in front of him with a bird on the top.
Oh, yeah.
Almost as if, so, because look at, it's like the one sword he was trying to pull out in the first place when he was struggling. It's the realization.
In this deck, the Nine of Swords is 9 swords that need to be lifted out and they're blooded. And whenever I see it, it's always about, you cannot heal a wound until you take the knife or the sword out. If it's left in the flesh, it's never going to heal. So you have to pull out the wounds to start cleaning them.
Oh, so is this the removal of the wound?
It feels like, yeah. Polishing it, maybe taking it out. The bird's now sitting on it because it's no longer attached to it. I don't know.
Did you say they're meeting 4 times or 3 times?
Three, but that's the 3 at the back.
That's what I was going to say, because there's 3 in the back. So it's like, to prepare himself to get to the 3 meetings, he needs to pull the first one that has injured himself the most.
Yes. And then there's 3 more swords.
Yeah.
I show you the other 2 cards that I've got, and I'm not sure, but it's Witness the Soul Retrieval. It's like coming back to an energy and renewing something. But it's that energy of witness. Watch everybody. I think that's coming at you. I'm getting that as a sense of, if in your own life some ex comes out of the woodwork, or you just remember something that wounded you that needs healing, you have to kind of remember to be calm. You mustn't, because the thing is, the second meetings at Christmas.
Oh, that's when you have to meet all the people you don't necessarily want to see all year.
Yeah, I know, exactly. And then that's when they go into their second conjunction.
Oh.
So she does the 11th to the 15th, and then on the 19th, Venus will go retrograde, turn round, and come back. Like, hang on a minute, I ain't finished talking to you.
And then while she's doing the turnaround, or I feel like doing more of a psychological assessment about how did that feel?
I think in a weird way, I kind of feel like he feels more like the one that's dealing with the wounds, because the interesting thing is, when she turns round, Mercury's just gone past her, and he's gone and done a little bit of shit stirring in her ear. And she turns around, she's like, hang on a minute, yeah, you're right, I'm going back to have a word with him. And she arrives at Christmas.
Oh my God. That's funny. That's really interesting. Now, okay, I want to say something too, before I forget it. When you were holding up those 2 cards, yes, I couldn't help but notice the 49 and the 64, they're almost a flipped mirror of each other.
Yes.
2 numbers, like the 6 flipping into a 9.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm seeing something there, like it mirrors, but yet flips.
That's what you're seeing.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Yeah. That's interesting.
And that's Jupiter. 4s are often a representation of Jupiter because of his symbol.
Oh.
So maybe there's something in addition, as I said, that comes on the 29th.
There's something there, yeah.
Because there's two passes of these 2 before the 29th, and then their 3rd pass isn't actually until the 3rd of March. It's a really long time.
Oh, wow.
So they do this little dance right now, and then there's a pause, and there's all kinds of other stuff going on in between, but it ain't over.
No, that's curious. So, okay, so I feel like sort of what I've pulled out here is preparing for the dance. Like the dance is all the three swords behind Hades.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's showing his wound. That bird sitting at the front is...
No, because it's in the forefront.
Yeah, he knows his wound, and he's... Yeah, maybe he feels vulnerable. We always assume Hades doesn't.
Yeah. But everybody has a vulnerable spot. Do you want me to clarify the vulnerability?
Yeah, I think you should.
Let's see. What is the vulnerability? Hades' vulnerability, the Four of Swords, the sword in the forefront. What is the vulnerability? The Ten of Pentacles.
Oh, plutocracy is power and wealth.
Yeah.
And Venus, she loves power and wealth.
She's like a magnet to him.
Yeah. She's like, oh, you know, he's the biggest, richest, baddest boy.
Ooh, baby. Yeah. The biggest, richest, baddest boy. And Venus is all over.
all over that. It's that story. Oh my God, look, I just split the deck.
Erotic entanglements. Oh my God.
Magnetism.
Oh, that's the year I was born. 72.
Are you sure you're not Venus? So yeah, look, erotic entanglements, house 5, sexual pleasures, playfulness.
Yeah. And the magnet we just talked about.
You just said magnet.
Yeah, that's so crazy. And look, the bottom on there is the King of Cups. It's almost like, look at me beyond all of what I represent and all the power I have, and see me for what is inside. Right? Yeah.
And also the other word I've just noticed as I put the card down, because I can't read in mirrors, universal soul. It's like there is some part of Venus and Pluto in conjunction, when conjoined properly, that somehow reveals our completeness.
Oh, like, and the Two of Cups is what's sitting beside it.
Yes.
Yeah. 2 cups. And this always reminds me of like the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper. Like they're the same, but they're different, and they're both up there.
Yeah. Ursa Major and Ursa Minor.
Mm-hmm.
So, what else have you got? I'm going to just putting a couple of these to see what they might add to the Witness, the Soul Retrieval, the Time Master. I feel like it's something that's old, that needs healing. So what am I getting? I'm getting similar to you. I've got the Moon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, third eye into it.
Third eye, the veil. And I've got Aqua Regia. It's to dissolve gold. The notion is, yeah, coins, your pentacles.
Yeah.
Because the idea is that gold in alchemy is very difficult to deal with. It's gold stays gold, but an Aqua Regia acid, and it is about corrosive, acidic, and destructive, is able to actually dissolve gold. And for some reason, I always get this idea that you dissolve the gold so that you can mold it into something new.
Mm-hmm. But it's still always gold.
It's still always gold.
You're sitting here with your Venus, and she's wearing a golden hat.
Yes.
She's crowning herself in what he represents.
Yes.
But he wants more. The golden cup too. The golden cup, the Witness.
Yeah, and love, because there is something that we never talk about with Venus, is she loves being loved.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she needs to be loved.
Yes.
Maybe there's some kind of jealousy that goes on between Venus and Persephone.
Oh.
Maybe she hoped that Hades might spot her first. And he came out from underneath Etna and he found the wrong woman, and she's like, oh God.
Oh, yeah.
He was meant to love me. I want his money. There's something of the energy of wife and mistress, but the weirdest thing is the mistress became the wife.
Ah. And well, then though, that's curious, because the mistress usually represents like love, and the wife is the necessity, the obligation.
Yeah.
And if the mistress becomes the wife, the love becomes the obligation, and what we really don't want love to feel obligated, and the pentacles all around it makes it feel like an obligation.
And maybe there's something of the energy of manipulation around love, because Venus chooses a love arrow. She chooses trickery. Maybe Persephone did, because Persephone's mother, Ceres, didn't want her ever to marry. So maybe he just came out of the mountain and she just went, oh my God, I'm off.
There we go.
I'm going for that underworld. That sounds fun.
Yeah, right. So different from where she's been.
Yeah, because she's always been springtime. She's always been light. And nowadays she's associated with the notion of seeds going into the darkness.
And isn't it like, it's almost like the underworld is all the roots of the system that she's familiar with above.
Yes.
So it's seeing the roots of everything. Where does it actually come from? Where does all this life come from? It comes from down here in the darkness.
Yeah, and she becomes queen of the underworld. I think we should ask about her. Both of us find out about her. I'm going to take this deck again.
I'm going to put this away. Yeah, I'm going to take.
Yeah, let's tidy away. I like to tidy away. Partly because I haven't got much space on this table.
And I find people watching, they can always go back and they can go, oh yeah, that card for this, or.
Someone asked yesterday, because I was talking about information that I sent to you on that form, and they said, could you hold up the information so that we could screen grab it? I went, no, it's for me and Cindy.
Yeah. Oh.
Persephone just did a really naughty thing. The card just slid all the way down my arm, and then it slid all the way down my leg, like it was trying to touch me up.
Say good things, Russell. Say good things. Oh, and he had the moon.
Yes. It's almost like, what's interesting is that Venus was the moon, Persephone is the sun, springtime, when the sun returns, solstice, December solstice, 21st of the 12th, which is another one of those 21, 12, 20, 21, all ones and zeros.
It's like binary code.
It's like binary code, but with the addition of the twos that are suggesting that two of cup love. Yeah. There's something about it that's saying,
like creating two codes, bringing them together.
Coming together, yeah. Because we've been separate for so long.
We have, Russell, when he
I know, it's annoying. What was that last incarnation?
I don't know.
I'm sure we were beaver farmers.
Would you be the first of your ancestors to like move and live in Canada?
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. Because I think
9 generations.
Yeah, I know. And I find that fascinating, and lots of French connection.
Yeah, lots.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, there's that's the longest one. I think the French connection from Normandy was in the late 1500s, but so there's Irish, British, and Scottish are my three kind of main ones. Genetically, they're more prominent than the French, but I think that one came in more with like my mom's dad.
And that was Bayeux, wasn't it?
Oh, Bayeux?
Yeah.
Bayeux. Oh, I went there. Well,
yeah, the Bayeux Tapestry.
Yes, that's where I went. And when I went to France, I just knew I'd lived there before. It was just like I knew where to walk. I knew how to speak it. Suddenly, I couldn't learn it in school, but as soon as I went to French, I knew. As soon as I went to France, within just a couple of days, I felt very fluid in it. Yeah, it was like returning to my roots.
And the Bayeux Tapestry was supposedly made in Britain and gifted to the French.
Oh.
And it tells the story of the Battle of Hastings, which is where I'm from.
Oh, God, see? It's been a long time, Russell.
I know. I was probably the one that shot the arrow in your eye, Harold.
Well, when we meet, we'll hug. This will be much friendlier.
No more violence.
Oh, that's it. We're finished with it. All right, so what am I doing? We're doing Persephone?
We're just
Venus?
asking for a little bit of information on Persephone.
Persephone.
Oh, I've got another one, and look, this one follows in with what you said earlier.
The Holy Mountain. Climbing up the mountain.
Yeah.
Ah, the spiral staircase that you pulled out. And it's almost like his struggle is getting up that mountain.
Etna.
And what's at the top but the sun and the moon? It looks like a depiction of
They
the sun
are.
and
They
the
are.
moon. Yeah.
And it's Mount Etna. But where he
Oh,
came out from underneath Mount Etna and saw her.
oh, wow. Well, this is crazy. Okay, Persephone. Persephone. She has one thing to say. She's sassy, the magician. And look how she's like, is she balancing a cup?
That's really interesting. There's something.
The coin. The coin is in her hand, and above the coin is the cup, and then the wand, and then the sword, and then infinity. So she's utilizing the coins, the gold, to balance the emotions.
And that links into that image I sent you of the pentagram, that motion of Venus. It's like she's taken. This is magic.
Yeah. Do you see? I see like the coin is in her hand, the cup, the wand, and then the sword crosses it. Oh, the sword to me represented Hades had the sword in front of him, and before he will not meet his passions, desires with the wand, because the sword is crossing the wand. How to get past the mind, how to get past the injury, the psychological assessment of himself to release the passion.
And maybe
finish.
Persephone took out that first wound. Maybe his wound, maybe his anger is at Venus and not Persephone.
This is so deep.
I want a love story. I want a love story.
Yeah, it is kind of that, isn't it?
But it's a complicated love story because love is complicated. Oh, he's like, hang on a minute. It's Mercury.
Oh, damn. He was the one that was like whispering in the ear, right?
2552.
Oh, shit me. Russell is just like those other two cards.
Yeah, he's the bugger stopping Pluto reaching that holy mountain. He's up to something.
Oh.
We have to ask about him, and he's also coming out with Characlo, the graceful enforcer of boundaries. I think he's
feels very Virgo.
Yeah, he's tricking the boundaries.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Because there's a really interesting thing about Persephone, which is in the end, her mother, Ceres, who is the seat of the soul, and she's Grain, she's so bereft that she can't find her daughter, that as she walks around, she's like a kind of dangerous creature. She creates deserts. She stops everything from growing as she searches for Persephone, and people are starving. They need Persephone to return, or no one can eat. And so Jupiter has to go down, or Zeus, and persuade Hades to let her come back. But he says, sorry, she's eaten 6 pomegranate seeds. She has to come here for 6 months a year. Yeah. I don't think she wanted to come back.
Well, no, it was her mother, right?
And all humanity.
Yeah, yeah.
All humanity required her to bring springtime.
It's like for the greater cause, she needs to walk away from her heart's desires.
Sacrifice.
Yeah. But then if she serves that greater cause, she can go back again.
Yeah.
That's almost like the infinite symbol here. Like that cycle has to keep repeating.
Yes, the magician, the idea of the different seasons, because the idea is as she goes away, her mother turns everything into its autumn colors.
Oh.
And then everything falls and you get the bareness while she's absent from the world.
And then right now in the Northern Hemisphere, at least, we're sort of in that.
Yeah.
We're about to, right? The 21st.
Yeah. 21st is the December solstice.
I feel like too here, I want, just because the way she holds the one coin, it feels to me as if it's a very small, like in terms of what to give physically or what has monetary value. Persephone didn't have what Hades had, but yet she's still able to balance all of these emotions, thoughts, and desires. It's like you don't need as much as maybe you think you do.
She didn't need the cash that Venus needed.
Yeah, yeah.
She loved him for him.
For him, yeah, right? Yeah.
She wasn't a gold digger.
No, just the coin, just the one simple coin, just to have enough to eat.
I know what the coins are to do with. In Greek, when you died, your Hermes, Mercury, took the bodies down to the river Styx for Charon to take you across, and you needed to pay with a single coin. So when you were buried in Greece, they put a coin in your mouth.
Oh, I remember reading that once. Yeah.
That's what that is.
That's the ticket to Hermes. She had the one ticket to Hermes.
Yes.
And that was it. It's almost like pulling the sword out of the stone. There's only one who has the real one to show.
Got goosebumps electricity on that one.
That's pretty cool.
See,
Wow.
you can solve a mythology.
Yeah.
It is a love story. And I feel that Venus is a troublemaker with Mercury.
Oh, my Venus is in Gemini. What is that?
My dark moon Lilith is in Gemini.
What's that?
My dark moon Lilith is in Gemini.
Oh God.
My Venus is in Scorpio.
That's very naughty.
It's very naughty, but I feel it's that energy. I feel it's that energy of she will sting you. If she doesn't get the love she wants, she will sting you.
Yeah, she knows the right words to say to get you right in the heart.
Yeah. So I think the next thing we need to know is Mercury, because I wonder whether, just before we go there, in the Greek words, Mercury is Hermes and Venus is Aphrodite. And while Venus is famous for her affair with Mars, Aries, she actually had an affair with Mercury, but he had to trick her. She loses a sandal and he gets an eagle to go and collect the sandal, and he tricks her. And then he kind of, forces himself upon her. But they gave birth to hermaphrodite.
Oh.
So there is a child of the connection between Hermes and Aphrodite, or as we would say, Mercury and Venus. So it's a really complicated modern kind of family in many ways. There's all kinds of different baby mums and baby dads. And
now I just have to stop you for a second, because something monumental has just happened on my railing. So as you were talking, my little downy woodpecker came. And so the thing is, I have a little downy woodpecker that's been coming to my yard, and he started about maybe 2 months ago when my son and I went up to visit my mom for a long weekend. I don't know, maybe that's about 3 weeks ago now. My bird feeders got ransacked by raccoons.
yes.
And so he didn't come, I guess, because he wasn't finding any food, he or she. And I haven't seen him for 3 weeks. And I was talking to my mom yesterday on the phone saying, that's the saddest thing about the ransack of the raccoons, that I lost my downy woodpecker. And I haven't seen him. And my mom said, well, maybe he'll come back. And you're talking about these return energy. And the downy woodpecker just landed there as you were talking, Russell.
So
and I haven't
sweet.
seen him for 3 weeks since he was ransacked. Everything was ransacked. And you're talking about like Mercury manipulating and kind of lying and tricking. That's like a raccoon.
Yes.
And so the downy woodpecker could almost represent Venus or Persephone and finding their way back. So maybe the distance isn't caused by something that either one wanted, but it was caused by some sort of outside energy like a raccoon or Mercury.
I would say there were
The
two
brand
raccoons, and one was Mercury and one was Venus, and I think your Downy Woodpecker's Persephone.
Stephanie. Isn't that cool?
Because everyone's putting boundaries on her.
Yeah.
You have to do this, you have to do that, you have to leave your boyfriend, the man you love, your husband, you have to go back up to the light, you have to give people everything. She's like, I'm so tired of all this.
Yeah, I want to do what I want to do. I want to follow my heart.
I want to fly free like a bird.
Yeah. Yes. And he did. He came and he looked at everything. He went to the little, my bird bath has a little heater in it, did a little stop, didn't go to the feeders, no, but just stood there the entire time you talked. And not until I started talking about him did he leave.
Knocking.
Knocking.
I always think woodpeckers are about knocking for attention.
Yeah.
Because weirdly, yesterday we had a chat about that orb that shot past me. And I, when you said, who might it be? And I immediately just said, I'm sure it was my mum. It was my brother, because it's my brother's birthday today.
Yes.
So he was doing a kind of spirit knocking. There's an energy of change coming.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we're going to pull on Mercury.
Pull on Mercury.
Mercury. I feel like I can't just ask about Mercury. I feel like Mercury will lie to me. So I feel like I have to ask something beyond Mercury about Mercury. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe whatever message he gives us, we read the reverse of it.
But we can't let him know we're doing that. We can't have said it. It's like,
he's only given me one card.
okay, so I asked my strongest guide to give me a message about Mercury that Mercury does not want anyone to know. And I got the Queen of Coins. That is like, I don't know, it just feels like trying to build up one's own wealth somehow. Or wanting to, being attracted by wealth on some level.
Yeah.
But I don't know, what are you getting from that?
Originally, I was kind of getting the energy of that's kind of like what he was trying to get. That's how he pokes Venus.
Does he want Venus to get the wealth of Hades and bring that back to him?
Yeah.
On
and the magic of the underworld. Because I don't think Hermes is allowed in the underworld. He brings the dead down to the river Styx. He doesn't get to go in there.
But he wants what's in there.
He wants to be able to hide his darknesses. Perhaps, because that's what the idea of the underworld represents in a chart, is all the stuff you try to hide. So planets below the horizon in your chart tend to represent things you don't like to see. I have a friend, and in her next solar return, every single planet of hers is going up into the light.
Whoa!
Thing down below, as if she's got to unload something publicly.
Wow. Oh, that's big.
Yeah. So we could actually look at the charts at these moments and see what planets are below. But at the moment, I really like the idea of just seeing what the cards want to say. I've got this staff power.
The staff. Wow. That's, because that's
all
the
he's interested
card.
in. Yeah, he's interested in just power. His power. His power, but gaining power from, because you've got to remember the Pluto Hades, they're one of the three key gods, because they're the brothers that own all the lands.
Yeah.
And Mercury Hermes, he just flies through the air.
Okay, now I'm getting a message too, because I'm looking at like all these trees are so well manicured and carved, like they go beyond just being allowed to grow in a wild way. So I almost feel like Mercury no longer wants the seasons to exist. Mercury only wants abundance, but without abundance, there can be no decay. And without decay, we'll eventually run out of nutrients. Like it just feels like wanting to build something up that is just so abundant, but it can't be sustained, but not really caring.
That's so interesting, because when you were talking earlier, we were talking about seasons and the Northern Hemisphere. I was thinking how here in Mexico, being closer to the equator, there's almost not a season. There is,
Yeah,
but there is almost not.
yeah.
And I noticed when I came here that there are elderflower trees, elders, and they're just coming into bloom now. In Britain, they would come into bloom in April.
Oh,
And they're
yeah.
just coming into bloom, but other trees are losing their leaves. There's something about the energy here where the seasons are confused.
Yeah.
And it's a
That's
hot,
our
hot
understanding
place.
of
It's a
them.
hot
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, I know it is very place. And then I think about hot places too, like that. And I think about like the cold. We kind of say, well, it's not great because you can't grow anything, you're just sort of surviving. But the cold is one of the most important reasons why certain diseases and insects that are particularly dangerous have not been able to like move beyond a certain threshold, right? Like certain killer bees and things like they just can't survive a winter that long. So it just kind of tells us how important the winter is so that everything can have the cycle and be sustainable and not be overrun but
Overwhelmed.
he wants that.
Or overwhelmed because you can't grow anything in cold weather. So the soil, the land, the nutrients just get to rest.
Yes, it's the Four of Swords, the rest.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Because there are some things like horseradish. If you grow horseradish and Brussels sprouts, you should never eat them until there's been a frost.
Oh, yeah.
Once there's been a frost, the bitterness goes away. Horseradish, once there's been a frost, becomes hotter. The strength of the horseradish is increased. So seasons matter to different plants.
Yeah. Well, why would he want to destroy the season? I feel like there's something.
Why? Just for the sake of it. It's just Loki. It's just something to do.
Let's just see what happens.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna.
Are you too?
Then ask me of astrology on that one. What's this about?
Why does he want to destroy the seasons? To me, this represents Hades, because this was him, his underlying card with the 10 of Pentacles. So just asking why he indirectly he wants to destroy everything that Hades has. Or he at least wants to destroy the emotion that sits deep within him.
Well, you know, if Mercury and Venus, Hermes and Aphrodite had an affair, maybe he hates the fact that she fancies Hades. Hades needs to be removed. He's not caring about Persephone.
No.
He just wants Venus back.
Oh my God, this is like a British soap opera.
Yeah.
It's like Coronation Street.
Yeah, but I think it is about that. Life is complicated and people all have their own reasons for doing things. And we're just using God energies to understand that.
Yeah, yeah.
There'll be people that will write in and say, that's my sister-in-law.
Yeah, no, it's true. Well, it's all reflected.
Exactly.
It's all reflected in how we live.
It's archetypes. So
Well,
I've got really interesting frequencies with him. I've got Moon in Libra.
Skin, kidneys, bladder, veins. What? So, my God.
Cleansing of the outer appearance. There's something about putting on a glamour, and the word glamour was originally a witchcraft spell that made you more beautiful.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what to be glamorous means, is to have used some trickery to look more beautiful. And then I've got Kawar. And Kawar is the galactic shaman. So the magician. Because he has got that magical trickster energy. But he's seeking deep down a true mystical experience. But I don't think Mercury knows how to find it. Because we always talk about what makes you grow is your shadows. Yeah. And I think Mercury's got nothing hidden in Hades territory. He's got no shadows. He's got no roots. He's just this air energy. And it's a little bit unhinged.
It's, you know, as you're saying that, it's reminding me of like people that are extremely intelligent, almost beyond the what anyone would qualify as a genius, but yet not being able to connect on an emotional level, like not like an Einstein, because Einstein still was able to capture his inner child, his emotions, but someone like kind of beyond that, where like it is very air energy, and trying to want something that you can't even understand how to touch it.
Yeah, Tesla was very much like that.
Yeah.
And when Einstein was asked what's it like to be a genius, he said, I don't know, ask Tesla.
Mhm.
Because he really did have problems. He was
Yeah.
very withdrawn, and a genius, beyond genius, but he couldn't ground himself into the world.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what kind of what you're describing Mercury is trying
Well,
to,
he has wings on his feet.
yeah,
So
yeah.
he can't ground almost.
No.
Maybe that's why he needs her. Maybe she brings an earthing physicalness because she's what kisses the soul into the presence of the world.
Very earthing. Yeah. Well, and Taurus and Venus too.
And Queen of Pentacles.
Yeah. She has everything he doesn't.
And everything he can't even work out how to have unless it's through her.
Yeah.
Living vicariously.
Yeah. That's almost feels like it in a whole. Yeah. Which is such a dangerous and unfulfilling way to live.
Yeah. So I think our next question has to be, what is going on Christmas when they meet again?
Oh yeah. Let's look behind the.
We
Let's
just
the
need
door
to know.
lock.
I'm going to check the things, but it will be at something like 25 degrees Capricorn, because obviously Pluto's not moving very much. So we have on the 25th of December, Christmas Day, Venus is back at 25 degrees Capricorn in conjunction with Pluto again. And then the question I put is, did she miss him? Did she come back to question him? And she stays with Pluto until the 28th. So that original energy we had of like an ex coming back,
yeah,
could be a tension at Christmas.
So
Christmas brings out tension because families reunite.
do you want to ask, like, what are we asking?
I think you're asking how Pluto Hades feels.
Okay, that's what yeah.
And I'm asking what Venus is up to.
About Christmas, the 20th, the reunion.
Yeah, that no one planned, but was like a destiny point that they couldn't get away from.
Okay, so how does Pluto Hades feel?
You know what I want to say, what an energy I'm getting before you even read is the notion of we're looking at a man here who's not displaying the toxic behavior we associate with him. He feels very emotional.
As you say that, one card came out. The Ace of Cups.
Oh, you see?
And there's two doves, right? There's two beautiful doves on this cup that's overflowing. But yet the doves are still in separate sides of the cup. But maybe it takes the 3 days for the doves to come together. What did you get? What did you get?
Got the Witness again. So watch, but look with the hummingbird, the heart chakra.
Oh,
that's the symbol of love.
Yeah. Oh. They're going to make little gods and goddesses.
Yeah. Little nest eggs.
Now, a whole bunch came out. Like, okay, so this is the one and only card that came out face up, and then all of this fell on top. But I've always carried, oh my God, it has one of his other cards in here. It starts with the 9 of Wands, which is the very first card he had before. Oh, look at, he's turning the 9 of Wands into the 9 of Cups.
And that's 29th. She stays with him until the 28th. And then the following day, Jupiter moves into Pisces, and that is the 9 of Cups.
Oh my God, Russell, these cards, you're not going to believe what he's got here. You're not going to believe it. Okay. Oh yeah, baby. Okay. 9 of Wands, 9 of Cups, King of Wands.
That's my favorite card. Where is he?
Emperor, the Star, and the World.
Oh my God.
Oh, Hades is a happy man.
He's a happy man. Let's find out if Venus is. Because it doesn't feel, I feel like she walks away on the 28th and then his life gets better.
Maybe it's all he needed was a little bit of.
Christmas party,
Oh,
mistletoe.
look, and the 4 of coins is at the bottom. That's almost like after the meeting.
Yes, is that
Cold,
like a
empty
tent?
What's that?
Is that like a tent?
It's a tent, and it reminds me of the stripes of the uniforms they would wear in a concentration camp. And it's isolated from everything else. It's in the cold, it's in the snow.
I think she's going back out in the snow. I think she's been lied to by Mercury.
Oh, that son of a bitch.
I think Mercury is a real bastard trickster. What have I got here? Oh, I've got Vesta, which is the eternal flame. This is the energy of the last thing to be extinguished in all life, the eternal flame, and rot.
Ooh.
Thing which should have lasted forever has rotted.
How can that be?
I don't know, I've got 2 more cards.
Okay.
Oh, but it's Hermea and North Node. Trust the destiny that's unfolding. I think she's been lied to. I think this is the Mercury trick played on Venus.
Oh.
It's like an ex-wife coming in and saying, she was never married to him, but she was someone that loved him, maybe the first love, but nothing ever happened. And she's coming and she's trying to challenge the Persephone frequency because Mercury's told her lies. It's almost like, you know, when you say, oh, he's still wounded from you. He's never got over you. You should go back, go and have a word with him. But yet your cards were saying that Persephone is just a beautiful healer with him.
Yeah, he's good. He's coming with this. He's on top of his game. He's the king of his own castle. He's it's almost like it's connecting him to the cosmos, being with her from the underworld, the star in the world.
Yes.
It brings these two together.
The healing of the earth. And the healing of the earth is seasons. Oh, I pulled my earrings, my earphones.
That's Mercury. Mercury's trying to stop you from saying the truth. The healing of the world. Because he feels so isolated from the world. He doesn't want everything to be good. No, then he feels excluded.
And he feels he has his role, but it's hidden. It's an invisible. But the interesting thing about him is because he's rocks, the underworld, that's where all the minerals come from that are of value to the world. So it's the value of everything hidden. He owns it all.
Wow.
But Persephone doesn't care. She just loves him.
Yeah. Yeah. And it turns this struggle. It's just such a beautiful way. What we saw the first time, and then to transform it. And it's completely.
It's a bit like deer in headlights. On the 11th, this old love turns up and you go, oh, geez. Where did you come from? And then by Christmas, she's Woodpecker knocking on the door.
Yeah.
28th, she's out of there, and he's like, oh, my whole life's got back together now.
Yeah, it is.
I need to ask another question on Mercury. I know that season. I just want, what did he tell her? Venus, what did Mercury say to you? What did Mercury say to you, Venus? One card. Thunder.
Oh.
That's that energy of trying to bowl somebody over with power. He's kind of given her like a false storm. He's filled her, and this is earth energy that he doesn't have. It's bison running across like bulls.
Is he even almost like, does he control lightning? Can he control lightning?
I mean, it's more Zeus and Jupiter that do, but I think he would probably work with it because he's just air.
Yeah. And
but maybe it's sound. Maybe it's just gab.
Yeah, because it's reminding me of how like a lot of the indigenous people in North America, the tribes, they followed the bison because that was their sustenance. So they moved with it like a season, right? Bisons were part of their seasons, but they would often feel, they could feel and they could hear before they could see them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this card represents don't get in the way of this energy.
Yeah.
Don't
It's
get in the way of this energy. I think he's stirred her up badly. He's filled Venus's heads with bad thoughts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And look at this underline of when I was talking about Mercury was the Queen of Swords, the Knight of Wands, and the Ace of Wands. And this is like trying to cut that out because he's showing up with a lot of fire. He's showing up with all this fire, Hades. And this was what Mercury, the underline of what he was trying to do, to cut out the fire, to cut that out somehow, indirectly through Venus.
Yeah, there's something dodgy about Venus and the way Mercury's behaving, but it seems to be actually inspiring Hades.
Yeah.
It's like Hades is remembering his truth.
Yeah. Oh, and shoot, look at how he's almost like kind of coming out from behind the wall, and then he stands up, and it's almost like he could still be in the wall or what was containing him, but now he can see through it and he can hold it and manipulate it.
Yeah, he is the wall.
Yeah.
He's come back into his power almost, the rocks, because walls are made from brick.
Yeah.
I've got one other noticeable observation. This is 2-6. This is 3-6. And this is 4-6.
No.
So we've got 2-6-8 change. The love will change. 3-6, the divine need to trust in your own love, your own self. And the completion is your destiny, the 10, 6 and 4.
The 10. And I'm thinking each number has gone up by 10. And 10 was a significant representation, the 10 of Pentacles, of, oh, no, again. That is so crazy.
Mirrors.
The 10.
Just witness the shit at Christmas and trust that you have your own destiny, that you understand. It doesn't matter what rubbish anyone brings.
Yeah.
Just stay calm and trust your heart.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is interesting.
There's a song called One Touch Venus, a film, a musical by Kurt Weill. And it's about a mannequin in a department store, I think in the 40s, that comes to life, but it comes to life with the essence of the goddess Venus. And actually, one of the main songs is, "Tell me, is love just a popular suggestion or merely an obsolete art?" And she sings a song about how she doesn't know how to navigate emotions in the real world. She's this goddess of love, but she doesn't know how to.
In the real world.
In the real world.
That almost feels like it's kind of sitting in part of this reading.
Yeah.
Getting it into the real world.
How do you make it genuine and not toxic? Yeah.
And as a mannequin, all she really understands is the representation of it, is the display of it, is the bouquet of flowers, is the poetic essence behind it, but not the feeling and the release and the vulnerability of it.
Yeah, the skin, not the depth.
Yeah.
Oh, that was that thing we had earlier, the moon, the skin.
Oh, yeah, and the veins and everything. Yeah.
See, we get there in the end.
And then the mannequin doesn't have that, though.
No, empty.
So it's coming in as the wrong vessel, utilizing the wrong vessel. Almost like, well, this is the image of beauty. I will take that on.
Right? And it's also playing into that story of Eris when she doesn't get invited to the wedding. And so she throws in the golden apple and she says it's for the most beautiful person. And of course, they all fall out and they argue with each other. And Venus has to win that competition. She has to be the most beautiful. And she gifts Helen of Troy to Paris when he chooses. And that starts a war.
Oh, my goodness. Gosh. What a tangled web.
Soap opera for Christmas. So I think we need to just, I'll check the dates. I think we need to just check what goes on at the 3rd of March. So it's like a long cooling off after this.
The 3rd of March, so that's the long.
That's the last conjunction that Venus
Okay.
and
Yeah.
they do together.
Oh, and it's 3-3, right?
Yes.
3-3 with the 2s.
Yes. 6, 7, 8. 6 and 6 is 12.
Yeah.
3 is 6 and 2022 is 6.
Yeah. Woo.
There's a balance all around on that one. Let me just check that I haven't just given you the wrong date though.
Kind of synchronicity in it anyways. It doesn't matter.
Sadly. So there's all kinds of other things that take place. So on the 1st of January, there is a moment when at 11:03 GMT in the evening, the moon will move into Capricorn, joining the sun, joining Venus, joining Pluto, joining Mercury.
Oh.
So there's on the 1st, as we hit the new energy, there's a kind of mini stellium that just hits the energy. So something will transform then.
It's almost like a quick meeting.
Yeah, but the sun and the moon are there. It's like a transfer of energy somehow. And then on the 2nd and 3rd of March, Venus will conjunct Pluto, but now at 27 degrees. So not 25 anymore. She's actually at a number that totals a divinity because it's a 9, 2 and 7.
9. And Hermes had the 2 9s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not Hermes, Hades.
Oh, Hades, yes.
So I think we're looking now at, again, you tell me what Hades is feeling on the 3rd, and I'll tell you what Venus is feeling.
Okay. Hades on the 3rd of March.
There's like a kind of divine letting go. I can't tell you what I've just got, but it's the most incredible card.
I worried about Hades because he was so good before the departure, and that's such a long departure.
Yeah. They needed that space again. I think probably they need a realization that Mercury has been in their ears telling crap.
Nothing's coming out. Starting to snow here.
You see, oh, there you go.
Oh my God. I don't even know what to say. I didn't even realize. Okay, so this is the Fountain Tarot. So it obviously has a card that it's its namesake, the fountain, the corn.
Crops regrowing, springtime.
Oh, and 10. And the
yes.
10, and the infinity symbol. And that was at the top of the magician card that she had.
Yes.
So achieving it.
It's like, I think Venus just realizes the truth.
Yeah.
He's in love with Persephone.
And it is. This is just like it's almost like, I don't know what. It's like
a fountain
sword.
of emotions, like a sword.
Yeah.
It's all watery. There's no longer will pains hurt them.
Yeah, it flows.
Yeah.
But it almost emanates from in the middle and expands out from there. It's just
because
so
they're in their own truths. So somehow they're shining properly.
Ah, it is. It feels very much like finding your inner truth.
Yeah, and that really felt like everything returning back to the seasons when they should be. Oh, it's like there's a darkness comes across because Mercury is shit stirring in Venus's ear.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think Mercury's done.
No, I was never done.
He's literally planning again. The 9 of Swords, the 5 of Swords, and the 7 of Pentacles is at the bottom here.
Well, I'll tell you that on the 30th of January, Mercury conjuncts Pluto again. So before this point that we've got to, Mercury goes in front again because Mercury retrogrades, goes past him, then comes back past him again. The first few times he zips past, but this time it feels a lot stronger, and it's on the, let's say, the 30th of January. And then on the 4th, oh no, hang on, that's the second time he sees him. On the 4th of February, Mercury turns direct. at 24 degrees. And then on the 11th and 12th of February, Mercury goes in front again. So Venus has done her bits and she's taking a long time before she comes back on the 3rd of March. In between, Mercury's in there prodding and poking.
And look at how he's poking. Look at this 9 of Swords. It's almost like almost nightmarish thoughts in the darkness for Hades. Like they're just creeping up on him. But then it feels like trying to stand above them with the 5 of Swords.
Is he standing on the swords?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so he's kind of using he's turning his wounds into stilts to stand taller.
Yeah. But like at first it feels like they overcome him. They're starting, it's almost like snakes crawling up him in the night. But I mean, that's almost the final moment before.
Yeah, before Epiphany.
Yeah. And this is cute. It's like he's harvesting little cabbages with the 7 of coins.
That's interesting because then the coins are no longer gold.
Oh, you're right.
They're actually just the seeds that grow into things, because that's the truth of him. He might have all that wealth, but all he wants is to grow sustenance.
Yeah.
Because that's not an energy we give him credit for.
No, but really we should.
We should, because all seeds have to be planted into the soil, into the darkness, into the underworld, and then they send their roots down, and that's where they find their nutrients to grow into the light.
And you know, if you've ever put a seed like in a see-through glass with
hydroponic
towel, and it'll grow, but it will never be strong because it's getting its water and sun. Yeah.
And it's got nowhere to hold on to.
Yes.
Oh, I heard your bell then.
Yeah, I just dinged it with my cup and I just had a realization. So, but what's also important for the seed to grow and for the stalk to be strong is the wind. Yes. The air. It's almost like Mercury needs to realize that that's the importance, because everything that Hades grows, yes, the nutrients and the strength comes from there, but the strength to sustain the storms, the changes of the seasons and the cycles, the wind has to build the strength of the stalk. That's where the wind comes in. The Mercury is not seeing that.
It teaches how far the roots need to stretch to give stability. If there's no wind, it probably doesn't send many roots out. But it's also, it's also interesting that you said that that's what Mercury needs to learn. And yet earlier we talked about how Persephone, who was springtime growth, she needed to know where the roots were. She needed to see that because she was part of the growth of the stalk. He's an influence, Mercury, on the strength.
And that influence is also like, it's kind of indirect. It almost feels like it's like coming up on his own stalks, right? This is like blowing at him, and but what you don't realize is all that blowing, all that mind game within yourself even gives you the strength to stand up.
That 9 of Swords, their roots, they're spreading out, they're giving. So although it feels like it's all coming in, he's spreading it all out to give him strength to stand on those wounds.
Look at us. We're doing it.
We're doing this again.
Yeah, this is great.
It would just be really good if we were technically able to actually do a live. Because when you do a live, I don't know how Rob and Reem and people do it, but you connect to YouTube, and the YouTube comments are behind what you're seeing. There's a time delay, and I'm like, whoa. I
don't even know if it'd be worth that. I just think, because even if we do this as a premiere, I would like to be in the comments.
Me too.
That, because it's already enough for me to like channel with you.
Yeah.
I can't imagine doing this and having a whole bunch of people live in the background too.
Yeah. Well, we can put it live this evening if you like.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can get it all done. You think you can get it all done?
Yeah, I can get it all done. And then I've got to go out and get some money, because I've got to be able to pay for the driver tomorrow to take me down south.
Oh, that's right. You're going down to where it's warm again.
I am. I'm going down the mountain. Also, where the air's thick, I think I'll probably fall asleep, because when you get really dense fresh air, when you haven't had fresh air, it knocks you out.
Yeah. So you consider the warm air fresher than the mountain air though?
No, it's not fresher, it's more, but it's got more oxygen. Because I'm 2,200
Oh,
meters
oh,
up, the
of
air is
course.
really thin. So when you first go out at first, when I arrived, I was waking in the middle of the night because my brain was saying, you haven't got enough oxygen. So it's like having sleep apnea, but not
Ooh,
doing that. Just literally
yeah.
your body goes, hang on, there's not enough air. And then when you walk in the morning, because you've had not much air, you have to really pump air to the base of your lungs. And then after, I don't know, 5 weeks, you get used to it.
Of course. What was so it'd be interesting to see the transition for you. Like you might feel like really energized, or your body is not working as hard as it needs to work.
Yeah. And I
Oh,
think going
wow.
to that chiropractor, he's unclicked. He's brought back physical touch to my body that the lockdowns and traveling alone has kind of brought.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It will be interesting. And also, I'm not very far from the ocean, so I can get back in Neptune.
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't been for a swim for months.
Oh, yeah. I miss that here.
Oh, yeah. You have
Yeah.
lakes, don't you?
Well, they freeze, Russell.
Yeah. I know. That's why you got a little heater in your bird bath.
Yeah, the birds, the mourning dove was just there. She puts her feet on the heater and she dips her bum in it. And she just,
To warm up.
yeah, it is. It's a warm bath on a cold winter day.
And do you get many migrating birds, or do they?
Well, they're gone now, right? Like
Yeah.
the particularly the red-winged blackbirds are big. They disappear. Pretty much they seem to disappear when their last brood of babies are like kind of independent and they all just fly away. I don't really get like the downy woodpecker is a new introduction, so he must have been somewhere and has decided, thank goodness, to come back to and stay here for the winter maybe. But the migration, like there's one of my subscribers, Dana, he's in Texas and he has like a bird sanctuary. And he always tells me like the Canada geese have showed up, or this group of birds have showed, and he feeds them, so it's kind of nice. But
Yeah.
yeah.
In Hastings, we have a lot of gulls, and they
Okay.
nest on all the rooftops, but their babies don't grow their full feathers for 4 years. So they're kind of grey
Wow.
and mottled. So
Oh,
the
okay. Yeah.
parents migrate and they
Uh-huh.
leave the skeleton crew of all the young birds. Then they
Oh,
come back to nest on the same thing and they tell their young birds to piss off.
exactly. This is our spot, buddy.
Thanks for keeping it.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't really like migration is something we notice more in the spring. Everybody comes back to Canada to nest because there's so much abundance of bugs. So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and that matters as well. I used to have fruit trees, and if they came out too early with their blossoms, there were no insects to pollinate them.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it all
absolutely.
has to come together. This is what this is all about. This is Persephone and Hades working the magic
Yeah.
to give us
And
good harvests.
Mercury also spreads the seeds in the pollen, right?
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
air.
Yeah.
Why is he so bitter about it?
I don't know. Because he wants to feel it in the physical.
Yeah,
He
or
can't
maybe
he wants to feel it in the physical.
his
It's
kid,
like you needing the chiropractor to have some physical contact again.
because he's not grounded at all.
Yeah. Any final questions?
No, I just let me just look. No, I don't think so. I mean, there's a really big question, but I don't want to ask it. Because in between, and we are on Hades, and I, Hades seems to be coming into kind of a nice epiphany. But there is that energy of the Pluto return that's coming to the United States of America. And I still kind of think that it might be less dramatic somehow than astrologers have long predicted. I don't know. I just, from this, I can't imagine why he's going to come out being cross, but I don't want to ask. I want to let it unfold.
Can I ask?
You can ask.
The Pluto return. When does that happen? When
It's
does
around
it...
the 22nd of the 2nd, 2022. It's all the twos. And it means that Pluto's gone all the way around the universe, the solar system, and reached the same point it was at when they signed the Declaration of Independence in 1776. And usually he comes back round and he says, did you keep your promises?
Well, there's an interesting split here that's not so ominous, but it's still a very important question. It's the 10 of Cups with the Hanged Man. It's almost like, where is your emotional fulfillment and finding it and really trying to identify it?
Where's your wisdom?
And the staircase to get there. That's an interesting split. So, okay.
So now I've got to do it as well then, haven't I?
Okay, America. Oh, your Pluto return. You're not going to believe, and it hit the floor. You're not going to believe what it is. What it is. Okay. Justice.
Oh.
The one card flew out, justice, and we all know how justice, the scales of justice are balanced as they need to be. It's not what you think is right or wrong, or what you think your side is, or justice.
No, and I've got a similar card that's just as I just went to start shuffling, it just opened and folded and landed. It was just one of those moments when there's no sort of aggression in the shuffling. You literally are separating the deck and a card flies out.
Yeah.
Sacrifice 44, which is a balanced number.
Yeah.
But there's something very gentle about that because she holds a butterfly. It's like it's kind of saying this is a time to balance things, to actually adjust,
balance,
and to transform.
Yeah.
But there's no sense of aggression, which is what we often read, that there's going to be like, you know, hellfire and brimstone.
Well, that feels like things would break down completely, like that.
Yeah, and I don't think that's not how it works.
Oh, look, the bottom is the 9 of Cups.
That's your Jupiter.
Yeah.
In Pisces.
Oh, and the Empress is reversed underneath that.
Yeah, but you had the Emperor just now.
Yeah, the Tower.
And I've got on the bottom of
Taming the Wind. Oh, that's my
44 and 55.
Oh, you do. Oh, and this is Justice is 8 in this deck, and it's 8 and 9.
See, movements that are naturally meant to occur. 44, 55, and movement that's naturally meant to occur. This often says to me as a card, like what we've been through in this eclipse tunnel, it's about letting go of ancestral echoes and moving into our own energy of the 5D. So bringing down a cleaner consciousness.
And even like, as we were just talking about, like Mercury, and in some levels, the sacrifice is almost letting things go that perhaps you were holding on to in the past, almost like Mercury wanting to get into Hades and get into the underworld, but not really realizing how important Mercury and the air and the movement of the wind really truly is to strengthen everything that grows. So it's releasing what you thought made you strong and really understanding and truly seeing what gives you life and happiness.
And we are in air epoch. You know, the great mutation of Saturn and Jupiter took us into air epoch for the next 200 years. So air becomes important. And actually, there's been some research of the last 20 years as we've headed towards this, that the speed of the wind is picking up all over the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but it's just an interesting observation that there's more.
Yeah, that is curious. Does that make it easier for birds and things to move around?
Probably, because they can probably catch thermals and ride on them easier.
Do you think it could change time?
I think there is sometimes that sense of things sort of feeling quicker. Because I feel like we hit a moment where everything lost time. I think when the pandemic came along, there was a real sense of no time.
Yeah.
And everyone being in a kind of bubble of their own personal time, because what was taken away from most people was structure. You didn't have to be somewhere at a particular time. And that's that thing that I call 12 frequency, that rigidity. I have to be here tomorrow, I have to do that.
Yeah.
And suddenly we hit this wall that burst all that open, and suddenly you didn't have to be anywhere at a particular time.
That was one of the things that I liked.
I still love it.
Yeah.
I try not to have times for anything. I don't like to plan the next day. Sometimes people say to me, what are you going to do tomorrow? And I go, I don't know. I'm not work that I want to wake up.
That's nice. I can't really do that with my son because we have to go to school and we have, like there's certain things, and he still has to kind of understand, like he has his alarm, so he's being responsible. But it's like if you could melt that together and be responsible and still just say, oh, whatever today will be.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it is that sense of flowing. You just, like yesterday when I told you about, or the day before, going to the chiropractor and the shop wasn't there because I walked a different way. That was all that kind of shifting energies of time and movements, and then I had to walk a different way, the normal way, and then the shop was there.
So weird. It is. And when things like that happen, you almost, when it's happening, it doesn't seem odd because you're in it. It just seems natural. But then later you look back on it and you think that experience was weird. Why did I not feel like that when I was occurring it? Like if you see a ghost or something out of the corner of your eye and it doesn't disturb you at the time, but later looking back on it, you think, well, that should have been weird. Why wasn't it?
I think that we've all gone through a sort of energy where we've all been in personal bubbles. We're all so disconnected from each other that we fractured the reality of a single dimension that we're all part of in the same time frame. So I think sometimes time and dimensions can't work out. So you walk somewhere and something's not there anymore because you're walking in that's kind of a fractured time frame. There's something odd. And I feel that 2022, because it's a 6, and that's that frequency of balancing and being in a correct flow, I think we're all going to start to rejoin each other, join humanity back up.
But completely different. Like I can't think of a single person that I know well that hasn't changed.
Yeah, it can't be the same. We broke it.
Yeah. So it's almost like getting together and shaking hands again for the first time.
Yeah, I think it is. And that's still something which last night they had some people here who were thinking of renting it. And at the end, they went to shake hands and they didn't want to. So
they did the elbow
knocking. But when that group had left and the host said goodbye to me, they shook my hand.
Oh, that's nice. And then you sanitize.
Yeah, I did. I was like... But it is that thing. People are still, I don't think that energy of all of our individual bubbles of perception are coming back together yet. They're about to.
I think in the new year.
Yeah, I think absolutely.
We'll feel sort of like, almost like that darkness that creeped, well, I hope we don't feel too much darkness, but that kind of creeped over Hades with that 9 of Swords in that period of distance, that longest period of separation between him and Persephone.
Yes.
Persephone or Venus? Who are you reading for now?
Well, no, both. It's both. I mean, Venus hadn't been around for a long time, but I think Venus is a really ancient earth wound. I think she's the energy of the past, and in many ways. And Persephone is his nowness, but he can't see that nowness until he's really looked to the past. Just like us, with all of our separate bubbles, we've all had to look at ourselves and learn to love ourselves, find our truths before we can carry them back out to humankind and rejoin people.
It's been I would almost call this the Great Reset. It really has been.
It's interesting because a lot of theories talk about there being an elite who are trying to reset everything. And I just think, do you know what?
I don't think they have that much control.
Music of the Spheres will reset anything they think they're doing.
Yeah.
There's bigger forces at work than a load of wealthy humans.
It's true. And you can't get all caught up in what the elite are doing because they just don't have that kind of control.
No.
Yeah, they don't.
No, they don't. They have an illusion of it, but we all have illusions and delusions. That's what Neptune's there for. Neptune's there to shroud us in fogs and confuse us.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, when you finally walk through it all, you find the mirror of yourself and you see who you are, right? Yeah.
That's why we've been having those mirror numbers.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
it is about looking ourselves in the mirror and seeing who we're going to be, not who was in the mirror before, but
Yes.
who are we now before we turn back into the world?
And then the one that was like a mirror and flipped is like the Hanged Man.
Yes. In a pause, waiting for the wisdom, waiting for the epiphany.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can't rush an epiphany, because I always think that Odin hung upside down for 9 days and he supposedly got the runes given to him. I think he was meant to stay there a bit longer. I don't think he got all the runes. I think he moved on before he had all the information.
I'm like, I got a headache. I gotta go.
Yeah. Too much blood.
Yeah, I feel like you and I probably like lifetimes ago sat like at the some sort of in Greece somewhere. We were philosophy. We were creating what we're talking about now.
Yeah. I'm only interested in new philosophies.
Yeah.
We need to go and find Pythagoras or someone and talk some Cindy math with him.
See, you know what? How do you know that my math isn't the way math was meant to be?
I think it's true. I think yours is 13 frequency math, not 12.
What is that?
Well, the math that flows rather than has rigidity. Because at the end of the day, everything is a mathematical number and it's fluid.
Yeah.
But science and maths likes everything to be rigid.
Yeah.
Apart from at the higher level when they know it's not. But
yes. Yeah.
you know, 1 plus 2 is 17.
Oh, don't do that to me.
No, well, 1 plus 2 can be 12 because you don't have to whack them. You can just put the two numbers together. But I'm sure there's a way to make it any number.
Well, how is it 17?
No, that was just a random pick.
Oh God. Okay.
But 1 plus 2 can be 12 because you can just put 1 and 2 next to each other.
And if you hold a mirror, it could be 21.
Yeah, exactly. Or turn it upside down.
Yeah.
Look, see, I just, for some reason, pulled a card. It's John Dee, Great Sage Equal to Heaven. It's the idea of the Monas Hieroglyphica, understanding all wisdom and moving into kind of like the sphere of being equal to the cosmos. You're not, there's always a secret to it. Yeah. But it's a belief that we head towards.
Oh, I love that. That's beautiful. What a wonderful way to end it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I pulled it. I just spread the cards and was like, pull a card.
Yeah, and that's what you're supposed to do. So can you let me know ahead of time when it's going to premiere so I can put it on my community page to get people to come to see it too? Yeah,
absolutely. As soon as it comes out, it has to download one way, turn into a file, then I have to put it into iMovie, then I have to edit off all our chit chat at the beginning, which you don't get to see, people, private, and then I have to upload it and set it as a premiere.
Yeah, and it's exciting, and we'll both go and watch.
Yeah, and we can all be in there with you, but you know that because we're at the end now, and we've been in there with you all the time.
I know, but you know that now, don't you? So it's what we started at my 12:30 and it's 2:00. So it's an hour and a half.
Oh, that's good. That's nice and short. No, it is compared to what we do when we do a live.
Yeah, that's
5
true.
hours,
That's true.
3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with your move down the mountain tomorrow.
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm going to a mango farm.
Oh, you can get fresh mango?
Yeah, I believe so. If they're in season, Persephone. Come on, lady. I want mangoes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a mango orchard.
Oh, that's going to be beautiful.
For Christmas and New Year.
Oh, now if I remember, like there was years ago, we went to Panama for Christmas, and I don't know if it's the same in Mexico, but they did not decorate anything until Christmas Eve.
Oh, good.
So That's me with my tree.
No, but the trouble is I love Christmas.
I do too.
I absolutely love Christmas. I was conceived on Christmas Eve, Christmas
Oh, that's
Day.
right. We're talking about that. Yeah.
And I think it's inherent within me. And usually when I have a house of my own, which is not for a long time, I always, at the 1st of December, I have to completely decorate everything and I have to bake the first Advent cookies.
Oh.
And then I just have to spend the whole of the Advent period making Christmas foods.
Oh, wow. When are you coming here?
Yeah, I'm there for next Christmas. I'm coming in spring. In spring. I need to see the surprise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Drunk on maple syrup.
Yeah, it starts moving in February, but like March, you can go and you can start getting it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, March is when so far the Canadian government said they'll be opening borders properly.
Okay. Hopefully.
No, I'm having it.
We're putting it out there.
If not, I'm going to sneak into North America, USA. I'm going to get on a train and I'm just going to climb over the border with my great big suitcase.
Can you please wear a GoPro so we can see it all? Russell in the night going underneath the barbed wire.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
The Texas police, the New Mexico police or something.
Apparently, they're quite good on their land borders. They're less rigid about things, and it's just air travel that they get.
Oh, really?
See about. Apparently, someone was telling me she's been, even when you weren't supposed to, she's been driving to Mexico and driving back into the United States. She said, you just flash your passport, and they're like, go on. It's like there's a Neptune delusion on the truth of free movement.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh, it's interesting. All right.
But I'll get there. It's my destiny.
Yeah.
I decided once we'd been merged, actually we might have that as a thumbnail.
Oh, yeah.
With the words in the pink bit.
Yeah, that would be perfect. That was so crazy. And all these people I've been seeing commenting saying they see that all the time. I'm like, I've never seen like 2 separate videos.
No, not 2 videos. No.
No. And not during the video.
No, I'm sorry. People, we're special.
As soon as you said that, your feed jumped and you went from here and then you went back there without seeing the movement. Yeah. See, he's doing it.
I'm doing it. Do you know what else I had, but I didn't put it on? I had this really fun little,
I saw that.
I found this stuff in the house and I was like, oh, I could put that on as my little Venus.
Oh, yeah.
My little Venus crown. Can't do it now. Hang on a minute.
On your bald head.
It worked earlier. You just need to.
Oh, that looks good, actually.
I got that. So you put that up there. And then I also found, but then I forgot.
It reminds me of the Statue of Liberty, actually, the way.
Yeah, it took us so long to get organized. I also found this little double tassel thing. And I was like, I'll wear that for Venus.
I love
it. And it took us so long to work out how to even get a video on.
Oh, you should have had that on.
So,
That's beautiful.
it's me big tassels. I'll send you a photograph. I did take a picture of it.
My cheeks are getting sore.
Right, so we're off, people. And I just want to say, don't forget, do be gentle with yourself.
And then, and just in case, I'm like, maybe it looks like I'm patting you on the head. I don't know.
Go on, pat me on the head.
I think because I feel like I'm above you. Oh, where are you? Over there.
Yeah, that way. I don't know. One of the ways will work. We can enjoy it later. It's like a learning curve. We need to understand. And this is the weird thing, because there's no stop button until we decide to end the meeting.
And then, I know, it's just so sudden, right? And abrupt.
Yeah.
So I'm out of here, bye.
I should have had it like that. That's what I should have done. Oh my God. I could have done the whole thing. Like, what was it?
It looks like you have pigtails.
Tony Braxton. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey.
You're so fine. You blow my mind.
You see, we know now we're going to keep this bit in.
Oh God. That's okay. People will love this. They will love it.
They love those moments. They're the real, that's the genuine bits. All the rest of it was just lies. Right, what's up, people, in case you're still there?